We are going to get started. I'm going to go over time blocking today, transaction management, and Dotloop. There's just a couple of you on today. So thank you guys for the ones that are here. It's going to make your life easier, I promise, especially with the new transition in the systems. So as most of you know, we are no longer in SuiteAssist. We are going to primarily only be operating out of OLS. And so I actually have a contract that we can do in live time. Okay, let's see. We are going to start with time blocking because that one's a little bit easier, and then we can roll into OLS because James is going to come in after me and also teach OLS. He's going to teach like the back end portion of OLS and the software and all the great things it does. But I want to focus primarily on transaction management side of things in OLS with you guys while I have you. So first thing for time blocking, let me share my screen. See if this works. Okay, so time blocking, especially within the brokerage. Where is my screen going? Oh, my screen is. Okay, so this should be the screen we want to see. Oh, we're gonna play games today. That's what we're gonna do. Kelly, on your screen, do you just see my screen like a gajillion times?
No, it looks like it's just your face, your profile picture.
Okay, so you see a different one. So let me stop sharing over here. Let me think about how to do this. Allow to share window, allow to share screen. This is the one I need. I need this one. All right, we're gonna switch computers and do it over here. Okay, so for time blocking, you are going to have your Google Calendar. In a perfect world, you're going to use your Google Calendar. Your Google Calendar is already associated to, let me share this, to your email, to Follow Up Boss, to OLS. All the systems that you need are going to be in here. So this is primarily where you want to work on your time block, okay? So when we are here, make sure that we're on the same page. Okay, so when you're in your time block, you're using your Google Forms or your Google Calendar. It's going to automatically have all of the brokerage events and Google links, Zoom links, whatever, you know, is associated to that day and that event are already going to be on here. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to build your business within the brokerage and all of the things that they are presenting as far as classes, info, events, all of the things, okay? So those are going to be automatically in here for you and nothing additional to do. But where you erase, you must replace. Okay, we are building our business to feed our families, right? Like that's realistically the reason why we're all here is to make money, build our businesses, feed our families. And so putting your personal commitments on your calendar first and building your business around your personal commitments is one thing that we try to instill, especially in the upfront when you're new in the business, you're getting your airplane off the runway. We have business life, we have personal life, and all the things. So putting your personal commitments in here first is going to be our first step. And I wish I could show you my calendar, but I don't know how to make my screen work the way I need it to. So we're going to work off of this one. I know that my personal commitment is, especially during the school year, from 6:30 in the morning to 7:30 in the morning, I have to take my kids to school. Same thing in the afternoon, I have to pick my kids up. So I have a time block from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. That is a commitment. That is a non-negotiable that I have on my calendar. So everybody knows what I'm doing, where I'm at, and why I'm doing it. during that time. Same thing for the evenings. I have even my workouts in here. So I work out certain days of the week at certain times. I have them time blocked down here in the evenings. This is a great example. So say we were working off of this being my calendar, right? 8 a.m. from 8 to 9, we have script and huddle. Okay, great. I have my pickups, my drop-offs scheduled at the top. Then we jump into huddle from 9 to 11. We all know that's our sacred lead generation time. It should not be an empty box in here in your time block. So in your time block, this should be blocked off, just like all these other cute color-coded blocks for lead generation. Whether you lead generate 9 to 11, 9 to 2, 9 to 10, and then 3 to 4, whatever that looks like, you have your 2 hours of lead gen in your calendar. So that way you can hold yourself accountable, and anybody that you are in business with can also do the same. I love telling this story. When I was on the sales side a couple of years ago, I was new to the business. I had 3 under contracts in my first 75 days. I thought I was the coolest shit ever. Didn't have anything in my calendar. I was lead generating. I was doing what I needed to do, had the 3 under contracts. And so I'm out showing and I'm, doing the classes and doing all these shiny object activities. I was here at the office one day and we all sit in the war room and, we're communicating or whatever. And my client texts and they're like, hey, we're here. Totally forgot for whatever reason that I had a showing. And like, you think, oh, I'm new to the business, I'm not going to forget that. Like, it's the only piece of business I have. I promise you, shit gets forgotten. And so I'm sitting here, I'm conversating. We used to have Margarita Mondays. We don't do that anymore. And that's probably why. But we were sitting here having a great time, right? And I see this text and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. So I straight lied to these people. I'm like, I'm on my way. I'm stuck in traffic. I hauled my ass out of this office. But I'll never forget that. Like that feeling sucked. But if it was in my calendar, I would have gotten the reminder prior to, where at least could have been there 10 minutes earlier. So unfortunately, I have tons of crazy fun stories that I can share with you guys about why your time block is so important. And once you become more busy, because that's what we want. We want the clients, we want the business, we want to be effective with our time. Lori one time said something that has always kind of stuck with me. She's like, if your loved ones you're at work, you're working, your loved ones are behind you, are they going to be impressed or depressed with your activity? And I don't know about y'all, but when I'm here, I need to be working, because when I'm home, I want to be with my family. I don't want to be answering emails and answering phone calls, and stuff in the evening, because I didn't do what I need to do during the day. So setting it up like a business, running your business in the daytime. Yes, we have option periods and showings and all that stuff in the evenings as well, but those are all time blocked. Those are all allotted for, right? So working your business when you're working business hours, and then when you're not, you are able to check out. Because there's so many people that come in, they get burnt out, because they're trying to do all the things, chase all the things all at once, do all the classes. That's great. And Ozzy tells us all the time, he's like, you can do all the classes and you can be an educated broke person. I don't know about y'all, but that doesn't pay my bills. So we really, really are big on time blocking and accountability. We used to be so big on it that we would create these time blocks and we would share them in our Google feeds every Sunday. And the reason behind that was like, okay, Marcus, if you say you're going to be in the office Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 11, and it's Wednesday and I haven't seen you all day, somebody is going to text you, hey, where are you at? Are you okay? More so, 1, to check in, make sure you're good. 2, like, you put out a commitment. You said you were going to be here. So I'm going to, accountability is the highest form of love. I'm going to reach out to you. Hey, you had this commitment. What can I do to help you, stay committed or whatever? We don't do that really anymore, because accountability is a hard conversation, right? It does kind of push people away in a sense. But if you can grasp onto the fact that you are being accountable to yourself, to your business, and then to everybody else, that's all that matters, So that's a little bit about time blocking. Earlier I said, where you erase, you must replace. So yeah, where you erase, you must replace. So you shouldn't have these open boxes right here. It should be filled with something. Sorry. And if you don't have anything in that time, add extra lead gen. Like, what is it going to hurt? If at anything, it's going to give you additional points, additional business. Obviously, when we hit that end of lead gen mark, we're like, okay, I'm done. I'm checked out. Like, I need to walk away. Great. Get up, walk away, go get some food, go get some lunch, whatever you need to do. but fill your time and be effective with your time and managing it. Kelly, in our world, in the transaction management world, I live out of my calendar. Like if it's not on my calendar, it didn't happen. I'm not going to remember it. I could write it down all day, but I have to live out of my calendar, especially like as you start to manage more files and listings and all the things. Working out of your calendar, like I do it primarily for the reminders because I would love to tell you I can remember everything. That is bullshit. The more kids I had, like my brain. Have you guys seen that meme where it's like kid 1 has a perfect egg, kid 2 perfect egg, and then kid 3 like it's all smashed? That's literally how I felt the more kids I had. And like getting into business, I wanted to be on top of it, and I want to be able to support you agents at a high level. And this is how I can do so, right? And so Kelly, same thing for you, even agents in the business. Brandy's a perfect example. She works with multiple investors. She has multiple businesses in order to stay focused. Like I'm sure at some point, Brandy, please correct me if I'm wrong, like you have to know what you're doing next before you get there.
Plan my day the day before.
Absolutely.
I don't put everything, I'm trying to get better at putting it in my calendar.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on, but I have physically, I'm a paper person. So I physically write it down, and actually that helps me remember it when I put it into something.
Absolutely.
So, but now I'm trying to convert
yeah
to the calendar, because now I have the calendar and this I have to look at, so I need to structure it into one. So
and it's hard. It's absolutely, I'm a paper person too. Like my calendar, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. I carry my little calendar with me everywhere I go. And so sure, I'm doing double the work. I have it in my paper. I have it electronically. But like you said, I write it out, and I'm a to-do list girl. Like I love to scratch that shit off.
Yeah.
And it's totally like whatever works for you guys, whether it be paper, whether it be electronic, whether it be a whiteboard. Like as long as you know what you're doing to build your business, that is all that matters. Just do something to hold you accountable to that time. Perfect. Any questions on time blocking? I know I'm like word vomiting all over you guys. Y'all good there? I do want to share it with you. So in the Google Calendar, I mentioned OLS, our transaction management system syncs with it. So, and this is really killing me. I can't show you guys my calendar, but when it's linked to OLS, when you have a transaction, right? You have an under contract, closing, listing, whatever. OLS is going to bring over from that system to your Google Calendar your events for that transaction. So option period date, third-party financing, closing, survey due, every bit of information you put into OLS or your transaction manager puts into OLS, it's going to transfer over to your Google Calendar again, so you can stay in the know for those dates. So it would look something like closing. We'll put 123 Main Street. And it'll show up in just a little time block right here. So it's already going to be added for you. And as those dates change, or whatever, the transaction manager, whoever's working that file, is going to go in and edit those dates for you. But again, you're still going to be in the know with your files. But the calendar is just another additional piece to that. It does also correlate with Follow Up Boss. And in Follow Up Boss, like if you schedule a task to follow up with that client, or a reminder, hey, check in on this address, whatever the case may be, it again is going to do the same thing. It looks like this little Sandra birthday reminder. Up at the top, it will have that address or that client's name in the verbiage here. And if you click it and your Follow Up Boss is linked to your Google Calendar, you click it and it will have the information for that Follow Up Boss file. And at the bottom of it, it gives you the link to go directly to that Follow Up Boss file. So then you don't have to open FUB in another tab and go find it. You can literally do it right from your calendar. So you want to make sure your FUB and your Google are synced. If they are not, I can show you how to do that. If you want to check over here in this bottom left corner, it'll say Follow Up Boss. It should be checked. That should be your indicator that they are syncing and communicating together. But again, if they're not, just yell at me and we can get you squared away and synced those two together. Yes, ma'am. What's your question?
So for now, is AOL, I'm sorry, I keep saying that, OLS. is it connected to the calendar now, or is there a check button you have to press? Okay.
Yes,
so
your Google should be connected to your OLS. If not, let James know. I did have an issue yesterday where some of my dates weren't going out. So I had to refresh everything on my end. But yes, every date that you have in your OLS that pertains to your transactions should show up in your Google Calendar.
Okay, so when to get that started, you create a transaction as soon as you have a listing that you're working with.
Yes.
And upload all the documents into that, and AI
Yes.
will pull the dates out and then put it here into the calendar.
Correct.
That's amazing. Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yes, it takes a lot of the back end work out and does it for you. It'll have your execution date and then the date the listing agreement expires in there, so you can kind of stay ahead of those. But yes, the AI extracts it and puts it into the calendar for you and the clients associated to that file.
Nice.
Okay. So sorry, let me just respond to this one quick text. Okay. So that is time blocking. Any other questions? Y'all good? Okay. I'm gonna switch gears. We are gonna go over Dotloop really quickly. Are you guys all familiar with Dotloop? Okay.
Yes.
All right, then let's see. So we have two forms of loops that we use. Oh, I hope this lets me log in. I don't know about y'all, but I can't remember passwords to anything anymore.
Thursday sounds like I have to reset them
Yeah.
all to the same thing, just so I can remember.
Yes, I do. My husband gets so mad. He's like, "Don't use the same password." I'm like, "How the hell?"
Just as long as you, I think as long as you just change them every 6 months, you're good.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do. Just
And then you get that notification where it's like your password's been breached, and I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." So which one? Because now I gotta change everything.
Yeah.
So ghetto. Anyways, so we have two types of loops that we use. We have a listing loop, which is created under the property address, and a buyer loop, which is created under the buyer's name. Same thing for tenants. Tenants go under the tenant name. If it's a lease listing, it goes under the address. Were you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, okay. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna come here to add a loop. So we are going to let's do a listing. We'll do 123 Main Street. Okay, it's going to give you multiple. Usually, if it is already on the MLS, do not click the one. It'll say like it'll have the agent's information at the bottom. Don't click that one because that's going to merge your Dotloop with the listing agent's Dotloop, and then they have access to your documents, and it's a complete mess. You don't want that. We literally see it all the time. Click the one that says Google Maps, and then it'll give you a nice, fresh, clean loop that nobody else has access to. Loop template. So here you're going to have all the templates for the brokerage. So you can go and select whatever template you're creating, and each template has different documents in it. This one, we're going to keep it simple, single family listing loop, since we're creating a listing loop. We're going to hit continue. You can add a photo if you want to. You don't have to. We're going to select done. It's going to create the loop for us. Now, let me stop here because I'm like getting ahead of myself. If you are on the AskAussie.com real estate team, Chin is the listing manager. She is a VA in the Philippines. Her husband or significant other is also in the Philippines. He is Irony. That is our social media manager. So Chin is the listing manager. She will create these listing loops for you. You do not have to create them yourself. Now, give her as much advance as you can. It makes your life easier. It makes her life easier. She does work hours. So we should be, operating at the same time. However, she does have a pretty extensive workload. So if you need something in 30 minutes, she may get to it, but I am not going to promise you nothing. Okay.
So before we get to this point,
yeah,
how does she know that he's done?
So you're going to tag her in Follow Up Boss, and I will show you what that looks like. Let's actually pause and go that direction. So you are going, Ashley, say you are going, your name is Ashley, right? Okay. You're going to go on a listing appointment Saturday at 2:00. So you're going to come into the Follow Up Boss file, and Oh. Let's go to, we'll go to mine. Oh, I cannot even spell my own name.
I understand that.
Oh my golly. It's ridiculous. Okay, so you're gonna come to the follow-up boss file. In the notes section, you're just gonna put @Chin, and she's gonna pop up and put listing, packet, needed, appointment. You know you're going Saturday at 2, so I'm gonna tell her Saturday at 10 a.m. Just heaven forbid, that way it's done early, whatever the case may be. So you can put it in here and you hit create note. She gets an email notifying her, hey, Ashley needs this listing packet. She has this appointment at this date. Also, especially if you're in the boot camp, go over to appointments and create your appointment. Get your points for that. So come over to appointment and you can put listing, appointment. You can literally put whatever you want, but you guys get the idea. You're going to change the date. Say the 4th of July. Is that this weekend? No, that's next weekend. Say 2 p.m. You put in the address, 123 Main Street, right? And then you're going to add your guests. It's going to automatically add the people that are in the follow-up boss file. But if you add Chin here as well, where'd she go? Pictures. If you add Chin here as well, she also gets notified. You have to hit this send invitation and email reminders, otherwise she won't get it. For whatever reason, that's just Bub's picky little thing. But this lets her know, hey, I have this listing appointment. She already knows, okay, I get this notification. I know what I need to do. So she'll create that for you. She'll respond back to you in the tags. Actually, I might have one in here. Yeah, so she'll respond back to you in the tags. Letting you know, hey, this has been completed, or hey, I need to make this change, whatever the case may be. So it can be a running log. You can see, hey, she at least acknowledged it, you know, and that type of thing. So you're going to tag her in the follow-up box file, letting her know what you need. She's going to come here, but you guys need to know how to do this as well to create the listing loop. Created with the property address. We're going to hit view loop. They're all going to look the same. So when you scroll down, you're going to have listing documents. You're going to have a list of documents that's required on the left-hand side. Those are brokerage required documents. So those are saying when you go to submit for compliance, your transaction manager goes to submit for compliance. Lori reviews all of the documents as compliance, and she goes and checks to see if those are signed. Those should, in a perfect world, those should all be signed when you take the listing. So when your seller signs the listing agreement, hey, we're going to go into business for the next 6 months, have them sign everything. It makes your life easier. It makes everybody's life easier. Just do it all at once. Your transaction manager will send it on your behalf if for whatever reason you don't get it done. That's cool, whatever. But if you can just get it all done at once, go ahead and do that. So Chin is going to come down here and add you as the listing agent. So say we add me as the listing agent because you need to be able to access the loop, right? So she's going to add you as the agent. She's going to select your role, add person. She's also going to add your sellers based on who you tagged her in on follow-up boss. So whatever information you provide her is the information that she is going to use. Say Brandy is my seller. Jiles. We're going to assign her role. She's going to be the seller. And we're going to hit add person. Okay, so it adds who we need to add to the loop. There's multiple sellers. Go ahead and add them. Again, Chin will do that for you. So in this loop, you have your listing documents. At the bottom of the same listing loop, there's already a folder for the buyer contract documents. So what that means is when you have a listing, you receive an offer and it's executed, put it in the same loop in a different folder. You don't need to go create a whole nother loop. Because then we're working out of 2, 4, however many. It gets kind of crazy and convoluted. Just put them in the same loop. The transaction managers do come behind y'all and clean stuff up. Because we all know, like, agents, y'all are moving and grooving, and you know there's stuff all over the place. So we try to clean it up on your behalf. But there is a folder in there for you, so you guys have that. All these optional docs obviously are optional, and they only pertain if or they only need to be completed if they pertain to that listing in that area. Okay. So You have the listing checklist in here if you would like to use it. This MLS input sheet says it is required. Now, I know we talked about this yesterday, Ashley, when you were going through those. If you need that MLS sheet, one, we have it in Dotloop, so you can add the editable version if you want to, or if you have one printed and filled out, great. You can upload it and put it into the loop. I can show you guys what that looks like as well. You can download it from HAR. There's so many different places you can get it from. I mean, it really, when you're at the appointment and you're getting that listing agreement signed, you're there at the property. So if you fill it out while you're there, you see the property, right? And so the idea behind it is if you can fill it out while you're there, you're just gathering all of that information and giving it to Chin so she can make your listing better. With her not seeing the property, she does a really good job of like seeing if it was previously listed, taking that information, pulling, details from the photos, whatever. But if there's something that isn't captured in any of those pieces and you see it in the property, notate it on that MLS sheet and put it in there. You don't have to use the formal like 6-page one. If you have a PDF with some notes on it, Whitney, I know she'll go and she'll take notes and she'll just upload that PDF and put that in there. That's fine too. And it's not a necessity. It just kind of bridges that gap of communication with the properties. Yeah. And there's one for every type of property. There's the land, all of that good stuff in HAR. So if you ever need them, they're all in there. But you can also use this as well. This is an agent checklist, just going over, obviously for people that are relatively new in the business, who there's so many docs and so many things, like this is a checklist to make sure you have everything you need. It's in there if you want it. It is a very helpful tool. If you don't need it, cool, ignore it. So you'll have your MLS input sheet. So we're going to open all of these documents at once and just quickly scroll through them. If you hit this box over here in the left-hand corner, it will open everything for you all at once. And then we're going to scroll up and we're going to hit open. There's so many things you can do in Dotloop and you can't ever like ruin anything. You can't ruin a document. It doesn't ever get deleted. You can archive it, but it doesn't ever actually go anywhere. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. So don't be afraid to break anything in here. You can split docs, you can rotate docs, you can add signatures, strike through, dates, lines, whatever you want. Like you can do crazy things in Dotloop. You cannot break it, I promise. So just make sure your sellers, Brandy Swagger's our seller. Listing agent we have as myself. Your property address, we put it in earlier. Oh, and it did not autofill. So let's put it in again. Main Street. When you fill it in right here, it's going to autofill the rest of the boxes for you and it makes your life a lot easier. So you have listing agent's information, you have seller's information, which is also going to autofill for you. Legal description. Put this, Chin does this for you guys, but in the event you ever are creating your own, go take the legal description from that tax record and put it in here. You put it in here, it's going to autofill for you where it needs to. So it's one less thing you have to do later on. So lot for, we'll put like, I don't know, Kings Village, because I was just looking on this one. Block 24. Okay, so we're going to hit autofill and it's going to autofill that same bit of information on all of our documents so we can just scroll past it. We already talked about this checklist, so we're going to move on to the listing agreement. I wish this computer screen is not so like, anyways. Okay, so why is this not? Has any of you created a loop lately? Brandy, have you?
No, not lately. About a few months ago.
I have.
Has it been updated?
No, our broker information is gone. Because
Yeah,
this is supposed to
I have
autofill for
noticed
you.
that. I was going to say sometimes it doesn't auto populate a lot of things, like the broker stuff. It'll say, "Do you want to?" But then when you do it, it doesn't go there. It just you have to auto do it.
Okay,
So,
let me let Lori know. Yeah, because these are all supposed to be auto-filled with our information. So I'll get with Lori on that. But because this should all be filled in, not something you guys should have to be filling in. So all of our broker information would be in here. I'm not going to waste all the time putting it in, but you get the idea. You have your client's information, which you would have to put in, but the brokerage information should autofill for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, property information completed. We're going to keep scrolling down. Fill in as much as information as possible if it pertains. Okay. So Chin's going to create this for you. She's going to set it up. Your expectation is to go in and put in the price and to put in the contract dates for your agreement when you go on the appointment. You're going to send your listing agreement for signature. Chin's just creating it for you. Now, once you get it signed, if it's signed in Dotloop, great, it's already in there. If it's signed in paper, you need to scan it, upload it to Dotloop, and then divvy it out from there. And I can show you guys all what that looks like too. But if you do it all electronically from Dotloop, it makes your life a lot easier. So she's going to create it for you, have it prepared. She's going to let you know, hey, Marcus, your loop is ready. Great. You can go in here, you can edit it, do whatever you need to do, and then send it off for signature. So you're going to fill in that information with the price, whether it is or is not in an HOA, all that good stuff. Listing dates, how much you guys are going to do for compensation. One thing I want you guys to note though, especially if you are on the team, and it's not in here either. Son of. Okay, so normally if this was operating in a perfect world, there would be a $495 early termination fee or a $495 listing fee. Oops, that's not how you spell termination. So this is going to autofill for you. When Chin creates your loop, it's going to say $495 listing fee paid to the AskAussie.com real estate team or a $495 termination or listing fee. It's one or the other, not both. In the event the listing terminates before the dates, before it expires, that seller is responsible for paying that $495 to the brokerage, to the team. This is in addition to compensation. Okay. If it does not terminate, then that $495 is collected at closing on the CDA. Yes. So there's a $495 fee charged on every listing. If the listing terminates, the seller is charged $495, which is paid to the brokerage. And that's only when substantial work was done. So photos were taken, it made it to the MLS, stuff like that. If you take a listing and you're waiting 2 weeks because repairs need to be done and then the wife changes her mind, we're not going to charge them the fee because nothing was done. And then the $495 transaction fee is paid at closing because the listing made it through the process, made it to closing. So now that $495 fee is going to be charged in addition to compensation. And it will be on your CDA.
Is that only if you're on a team?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And that does go
Chelsea,
to the team. Yes, ma'am.
I think we have it listed on there as like a transaction or a admin fee or something like that.
On your guys' team?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can have whatever you want in there. And it, like your guys' team, since you guys have, you know, your own set of fees, that's totally fine. Because your guys' buyers and sellers pay your admin fee, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And that's totally fine. You can have that in there. Sherry's team does that also because I do Sherry's listings. And they also have their sellers pay that fee instead of the agent paying it at closing. So that's totally fine the way you guys have it.
So this is where transaction coordinators put in that where they're getting paid, right?
Yes. If it's being charged to the seller, yes. If it's being charged to the agent, it can be on the CDA.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So what Kelly was talking about is different teams within the brokerage can add any fees on there also. So like say Brandy wanted to charge her seller, I don't know, whatever, say a $1,000 marketing fee or $1,000 cleaning fee because she paid for cleanings or whatever. You can add that to your listing agreement and that'll be charged to your seller. But having it on this paperwork allows whoever is complying and creating your CDAs allows them to know, hey, I'm going to go look at this. So I make sure to include it. So nothing gets missed. Okay. But that's going to usually autofill for you. You have your protection period typically is at 90 days. It should also autofill for you. But we're just going to keep scrolling. So broker, this is going to say Brazoria because we're located in Brazoria County where funds will be exchanged. Whether or not the seller will allow the listing to be put on the MLS. So check whatever box applies. If they're ready to hit the MLS, go ahead and select that box 1. If you know, hey, I need 2 weeks to complete repairs, go ahead and select box 2 and have your seller give you a date when they'll be ready, or like Whitney will put in here, seller to let agent know when ready. Like that's totally fine too. But that way we're making sure we're staying in compliance. As you continue to move through this, like knowing these docs is going to be huge too, right? Like take the time to review them and familiarize yourself with them. 1, so you can have an educated conversation, and 2, you can also know what to expect because you are on the team and you are working with so many different people, how the timeline and the process works, which we'll also go over. Scheduling companies, this would say Showing Smart. We used to use Showing Time. So it'd say Showing Smart, and then you're going to select whether or not the seller will allow an intermediary. So yep, seller's okay with me working both sides. We're going to select intermediary, and we're going to have that conversation. Brokers, the seller does or does not want the listing to be displayed on the internet. If you are doing it off the MLS, just go ahead and have this selected so that way they know, and that way your listing manager knows also to not put it in the MLS and what that looks like. Select the financing that your seller is willing to accept. Chin pulls this information. So when she's creating the listing, there is a financing tab saying, hey, what kind of financing is either seller and or yourself approving for this sale? Whatever you have checked is the information she's going to pull. So if you know your home, the listing won't qualify for FHA, don't select it. Okay. All right. As we continue to scroll through, notate seller is delinquent on anything, payoffs, loans, taxes, HOA, anything in there. If there's any encumbrances or liens that the seller knows, you can notate here. Employers or LLCs, you can notate. If the property is in a mud, PID, sewer, drainage district, anything like that, notate here. Your sellers, which I've come to learn, half the time don't know. And if they do know, because, okay, great, I pay the tax, they have no idea outside of that. So you're going to have to do some digging and some research based on, you know, your listing, and make sure you have that information in there, because we do have to disclose that when you go under contract. And 9 times out of 10, those are attached to the listing. In a perfect world, they should be attached to the listing when the listing goes live. Special provisions, don't put anything in special provisions. And then here in the addenda, go ahead and select everything that you are providing to your client. The general disclosures that are already in the loop for you, you're just going to select which ones that you provided. Okay. We are done here. So this would, again, be auto-filled with the brokerage's information. You would sign the listing agreement. Your client would sign the listing agreement. The rest of these, you guys can go through. It's a little bit redundant, but I just want you guys to be aware. These are the general disclosures that need to be signed. Again, they're the ones that say required on the left-hand side. So it's going to automatically have Ozzy as your broker, me as the transaction manager, and then autofill your information here next to mine. That way we're letting everybody know, hey, we're all licensed. Here's all of our information, and making sure we're accurately providing that information. Next one is the wire fraud, just a general disclosure. Go ahead and have your client sign that one as well. General information, consumer notice. This is 5 pages of just fun reading. So you can explain those to your clients. 9 times out of 10 people just sign them. They have no idea what they're signing. It's kind of mind-boggling. But like, you're doing your due diligence and providing this information in the upfront. So we're going to get that one signed. Notice about property insurance for buyers and or sellers. Again, another general disclosure that they can sign and have noted. Special flood. If it applies, great. Have them sign it. If it doesn't, that's fine. These are another general notice. The last one is your seller's disclosure. You have 2 types of seller's disclosures. You have the 6-page long form. That's actually like 7.5 pages down, but or the property condition form, which I can show you. It looks the same. It does not look the same. It provides different information. Seller's disclosure, we learned yesterday, is very detailed. where the property condition form is just yes, no, or unknown. Yeah. And they, your sellers don't know they have a choice. So whatever one you provide is the one that they're going to sign, fill out. The team is super strict about not going active with listings unless the seller's disclosure is signed and attached to the listing. We want to be able to provide that in the upfront. We don't want anybody coming back to us after the fact. Kelly, did you have a question?
Yes. So I've never been on a listing appointment. So I was just wondering, all of this paperwork, here, you would be sitting down with the client and going over and filling it out,
Yes.
laptop right there.
Yeah. And that's going to kind of be your preference, right? So sometimes people will print everything and take a cute little folder with all of it so they can like go through it with a pen and highlight things and scratch things out or whatever. Some people will go to the listing appointment, have the conversation, leave and tell their client, hey, I'm going to send everything to you, review it, let me know if you have any questions. Some people will bring their laptop and be like, hey, let's go through this while I'm here. So if you have any questions, we can answer them, in live time. That's going to be your preference and what you feel comfortable with. Everybody does it a little bit differently, but you have multiple options to choose from. But knowing what information you're sharing with them, I think is going to be your best, help you have the best outcome.
Okay. So like if there's like a lien or something, that question, do you know if there's a lien on the property or something? You just need to know all the questions that are on this contract to be able to ask
Yes.
them.
Yep, exactly.
Or
And
write
one
it
thing you can do, it's a little corny, but it's the world we live in now. You can literally take the listing agreement or any of these docs, you can throw them into ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, give me a list of questions I need to ask my seller. And I kid you not, it gives you a whole list of questions that you can ask your seller to make sure you have all the information that you need. And liens is a big one. If they're behind on their mortgage, knowing that in the upfront is going to make you a stronger agent, you being able to advocate for your client at a higher level, but you're also going to know walking into that listing agreement or that listing what you're needing to do for them in order to get their property sold.
Okay. It would be
Okay.
awesome to be able, maybe I can go with my sister one day to at least a listing appointment so I can see how she does it.
Absolutely. And shadow people, shadow different people. Everybody does it a little bit differently, but the more like field experience you can get, absolutely, I would definitely do that. All right. Perfect. All right, so let's keep rolling. This is the seller's disclosure again. Have them have this completed. We are going to scroll right past this big old long thing. Seller's authorization to disclose and advertise certain information. If you have any type of seller concessions that your seller is willing to provide in the upfront, anything like that, because of the new marketing rule, have them fill this out. Hey, I'm willing to contribute $10,000 to the buyers in the upfront. They can go ahead and fill this out, and then it can be marketed on the MLS with the listing. Amendment to listings. Your listing is active. You've been on the market 35 days, and you and your seller decide, okay, it's time for a price improvement. Go back to follow-up boss. Tag Chin. Chin, I need an amendment for this new price. Let her do that for you. Leverage the team. She is there to be who and when you need her. Okay. So you're going to tag her in the follow-up boss file, let her know what you need. She's going to draft up this amendment for you based on if you need to extend the dates, change the price, whatever the case may be, change compensation. She's going to draft it. She's going to send it to your clients for signature. Once it's signed, she's going to go into the MLS and create that change for you. Okay. So that is the listing agreement. This is that property disclosure I was just talking about, the shorter form of the seller's disclosure. So super basic. You just fill in the box and go on about your day. Okay. So a lot more user friendly. Update to the seller's disclosure notice. This is in the loop for you, even if you need it. You go under contract, buyer provides you the inspection report. You're now made aware of a deficiency that you didn't know prior to, go and update your seller's disclosure notice with this. You don't need a whole new seller's disclosure. You just need to update the existing seller's disclosure because you've been made aware of a new issue. This is a general doc in here for marketing. In the event you need it, you can go ahead and have that your client sign that one for marketing in the in HAR. On-site sewer, if it pertains, go ahead and have them fill it out. Again, this is all going to be property specific for the next couple docs. Addendum for lead-based paint. If it's 1978 or older, you need this and have it attached to the listing as well. Information regarding windstorm. Another general disclosure, you can go ahead and have them sign that as well. Named exclusions addendum, we don't use this too often. In the event you ever need to have an exclusion from the property, you can go ahead and create that. Chin can create it for you. Again, if anything listing pertained, she will create for you. You just have to give her the information that she may or may not need for those, okay? So from here, if we hit save and share, it's going to save all the work we did, all the work Chin did, and from here you can go ahead and send it to your clients. So we hit save and share. There's my little box. It's saying 64 fields need Brandy Swagger's signature. It says can sign. We only want her to be able to sign. Besides the seller's disclosure, they have to go in and fill in sign. So that would be sent separately. However, if you're going to send all of your documents at once for signature, that's fine. We're going to hit can sign. If this was only the seller's disclosure, we would change this to fill in sign. And then we would hit share. Sends it to them via email from Dotloop, and it literally walks them through it. Once your clients sign in Dotloop, I will show you what that looks like. So your seller signs all the documents. Where it says not shared, it's now going to say signed, and you'll know that that's your indication that it's been signed. You'll also get an email every time a document is signed. Hey, Brandy Swagger has signed XYZ document. Okay. So that's what your listing loops look like. Earlier I told you there's no way that you can like break anything in here. You can come here and add a document and hit templates. Again, you're going to have all those same templates we had in the upfront for any type of transaction you need. Or you can come down to the bottom, which is my favorite spot, and hit Trek Interactive Forms, and you can search whatever form you need in the Trek Interactive Forms.
All of this will be on OLS, like the same.
Yes and no. So I'll explain that to you as well. So in Dotloop is where you're going to create the documents, get everything signed and executed. Once it's signed and executed, that's when you'll go into OLS and create the transaction. So Dotloop is like document management. OLS is transaction management.
Okay.
Okay.
And will we have to, transfer
Yes.
all of the documents over to
Yes.
OLS every time?
Every time. And so what that looks like is because we're moving away from compliance in Dotloop into OLS, when you create it in Dotloop and you send it to the other party to sign, once they sign it, it's executed, right? So you take that executed copy, you can put that into OLS and it will be submitted from there. Previously, what we just got away from literally like last week is you signed it in Dotloop, you sent it, got it executed. You put it into OLS and the transaction managers would go and take everything from OLS, put it into Dotloop, make sure it was compliant, and then work out over here. So we've kind of eliminated one step to now, once you get it signed and executed, it's only going into OLS. Does that make sense?
And when is the compliance done?
So the compliance done, we submit files for review at least 10 days before they close. So you go under contract, we have, say, a 30-day close. We get the file open, we're working through it, and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like also. We're working through it. I, as the transaction manager, or Amy, or whoever is doing that, submits it on your behalf. So we go in and we submit the file for compliance. You'll be notified if anything is missing or incorrect or whatever. The transaction managers take care of those documents for you guys. But we're submitting for review on your behalf, and then compliance will let us know where we're at with everything. Okay. So yes, in Track Interactive, you have all the documents you may or may not need, and you can just select this box that you want the short sale addendum and hit copy, it's going to bring it into this for you. So you'll have it right there. If you have a PDF saved to your computer, hit browse, upload it, and it'll do the same thing. Come right to your email. Okay. Same thing with buyers loops. Buyers loops we create under the name, not the property address, but the same general thing applies. You guys create your own buyers loops. Once you write up the offer and it's executed, that's when the TCs step in. But buyer loops, you create. Listing loops, Chin creates. Okay. Any questions about Dotloop? No, we're good.
Keep it all straight. Yeah.
Absolutely. And as you guys get more business, like we'll definitely have these conversations again. Especially like if you're new,
The fire loop we create,
yes. Buyer loop, you create. Listing loop, Chin creates.
Chelsea,
Yes,
when
ma'am.
when you selected all of those documents and shared them for signature, was the disclosure included in that, or do you just you include it and then also send it separately?
I do not include the seller's disclosure when I send my listing docs.
Okay, you
initially.
uncheck that one.
Yep.
Okay,
I uncheck that one because that's the one that needs to be filled and signed.
gotcha. Okay.
Yes. Perfect, friends. Okay. That is the general gist of Dotloop. Now, to answer Marcus's question, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, and we are going to go into OLS, which is the transaction management system. One last step.
that's one.
Yeah, go ahead. Actually, I'm going to run to the bathroom. You guys want to take a quick break? Okay. Kelly, we will be back in 2.5 seconds. Some of us have to go potty.
Okay, honey.
One.
All right. Try to log into mine. Okay, this is going to be OLS and the transaction management. So when you first log in, this is what you're going to see. Oh my gosh, 399 things need attention. Ignore that. It's going to tell you the gist of what your day looks like. Okay, so if you have anything coming up, it's going to tell you. There's so many things in here that you can do. James can go over all of that. I want to show you the transaction management side, like the basics of the system and how to work through it effectively. So as you start to have transactions or work through the systems, if you hit start my day, this correlates with your email. So it essentially, like, the AI reads your emails essentially and creates a task list, if you will. Yeah, like a to-do list based on what's going on in your files and your emails, because it's all associated on the back end. So what it does is that I hit start my day. It opens my command center and it shows me everything that I have going on. Key dates from now until the rest of these files close. What's in your pipeline, what's coming soon, what's pending, what's happening today, this month, and so on. Okay. So you can do everything you need to do in here. Let me think. Where do we want to start? Okay. Transactions. So we are going to, I don't know if I can show you guys. Let me see. Okay, let's do, I can delete this one. So be a demo. Okay, we are going to put in a listing into OLS. So we're going to take our executed document from Dotloop. Okay, we sent it to all parties. It's signed. It's executed. It's good to go. Hold on, let me find a document that's executed. Oh, that's executed. Crazy. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry, let me just get one that's signed. Nope. All right, 1 second. Oh boy, okay. So pretty good. All right, here's an executed listing agreement. So we're going to download this from Dotloop. And we are going to come to the command center. Up here in the top hand corner, you have the plus button. You can add a person, a date, anything you want to. If something's already existing, for right now, we're going to add the transaction. You're going to have 3 different steps. Use the smart intake. And I tell you to use the smart intake because as the system has progressed, we have enhanced, if you will.
Always use the smart.
Yes, always use the smart intake, the brain. The other 2 are just slower and a little less ineffective. You can use them. They do this similarly, do the same thing. But if you use the smart intake, it's less work on y'all's end. So it's going to bring up this screen right here. All you need to do is upload the document that you're working with. We're doing a residential listing agreement. We're going to hit open. And right now the AI is analyzing the document to prepare to pull the information. So the AI has read it. It tells us over here there's 1 of 10 pages. It lets us know what document it is. If there was multiple, it would split them up and separate it out for us. Once you have this and you see this little green ready, hit this wand up at the top. We hit the wand up at the top. And now it's extracting the information and it's telling you right here what it's doing. Okay. So if you scroll down just a little bit, you can see the document in here at all times as you're creating the transaction. So if you need information, you can just pull it from the document that you're working through. You creating the transaction, you're going to select your role. So here, if say your transaction manager was creating it for you, I would put listing manager. Or you being the agent, you would put listing and you would select agent, okay? And then you need to select your sellers. No matter if you're working on a listing or a buyer under contract, add the parties to that file, okay? So listings, it's going to be the listing agent, the listing coordinator being Chin, and your sellers. That's it for listings. If you are under contract with either a listing or a buyer, you're going to add all parties to the contract. Whoever you represent, being either the buyer or the seller, you as the agent on whatever side you're on, you're going to add the other agent to the contract, the title, escrow officer, and the lender. Everybody that's associated in. Obviously, if you're representing the seller, you're under contract, you're not going to know the buyers, so don't include them, right? But it's all the parties that you do know and that are associated that need the information from the contract. So for listings, it's going to be listing agent, listing manager, and seller. And then, yes, and then for the under contracts, it's both agents, yourself and the other agent, your client, lender, and title.
Both agents.
Yes, and then the transaction coordinator. And this is how your transaction coordinator is notified you have a new under contract. If you don't add them as the transaction coordinator, they don't get notified and then they can't start working on your file. So make sure to add them. So this one, we are still working on just the listing taken. So we have ourselves as a listing agent. We are going to add the seller. And this is synced with Follow Up Boss. So if your person is already in Follow Up Boss, your seller's already in Follow Up Boss, you can go ahead and just select them or like type their name in and it'll bring over whatever information you have in that portal. Say let's select, oops, I don't know why that's not coming there. There we go. So we're going to have Keelan as our seller. You have to put in a phone number for them. So you have to know their email address and their phone number. Okay. Whoops. Why can't I scroll down? You're going to put that person in here. And this screen is killing me because for whatever reason, I can't scroll down. Anyways, okay, we're going to move forward. So you have your seller, your listing agent, and the listing manager. We're going to hit next section. It pulled the information from this document. Okay, so here is the property address. If you need to change it, you can change it, but it should pull it for you. Make sure it's accurate. Just verify to double check. You're going to select which transaction type you are creating. Listings are listings. If it's a purchase, you're representing the buyer, right? So it becomes a purchase. Same thing with an assignment. If you're doing a wholesale deal, which that's usually with Julia anyway, so that typically won't pertain unless you have a lease listing or lease tenant as well. So for this one, we're doing listing. The status. This is probably the biggest one. When you take a listing, you're adding Chin as your listing manager, right? Which we just did here. Your listings are always coming soon. They're not active yet. Even though you have a listing agreement, it's not active on the market, so put it in as coming soon. If you are creating a transaction for an under contract, select option pending if there's an option period or pending if there is no option period. So it's one or the other, option pending or pending. 9 times out of 10, you're going to start in option pending. Okay. So for this one, since it's our listing, we're going to put it as coming soon, and then select your property type. Based on what you select is based on how the emails go out with the workflow. So making sure you have the right thing selected in here. Your transaction manager or listing manager will double check it and just make sure we're putting in the right information. So we're going to say this is a single family, and then we can hit our next section. Property details step must state oh, I forgot to state in our property details. So I have to add, I forget what this address was. 2503 Winding Creek. So right here, I put Texas and it didn't like that. It said the 2 initials. So we're going to put TX and hit next. All right, so it's checking the roles. It's letting us know, hey, we missed adding the seller. We missed adding the listing coordinator. We need to go back and add them. For right now, I'm going to say, okay, I understand. So anytime you don't add somebody, it's going to let you know who you're missing in case you accidentally did miss them or in case they don't, apply. Commission, it pulled the commission percentage from the listing agreement, auto-filled it there for you. Any other financial item that you have on there that it didn't pull, you can add anything you want in here that pertains, right? If there's an external referral fee or you can add the list price. Say we put in the list price at $230,000. If there was something else like a fee, a miscellaneous fee, a listing transaction fee, we can 495 it, oops, and get it added in there. Okay, anything you want to put in there. Next section is our key dates. So we're going to add our dates. Add the dates that pertain to the file that you're creating. Okay, listing agreement. You're going to have the date it's executed, the date expires. Under contracts, you're going to have your option, your third-party financing, your closing, all of those dates that pertain. So for this one, we'll put listing, oops, maybe executed. You can put execution date. Say it's today. This might kick it back because that's not the right date, but we'll see. And then we can put expiration date. And we'll put July 31st. Okay. So putting that information in there, any other key dates, you're going to hit next and keep moving. All right. Any additional detail types, state it's Texas, anything else additional. If you have, for your under contracts, you'll add the title company, the title company's address, survey dates, 5 days, 10 days, whatever that looks like, third-party financing. Anything that pertains to the documents that you are working through, fill in as much information as possible. Because what this does is it builds the file based on the information that you provide it and that pertain to the contract, okay? So anything in there is everything that applies, we want to put in there. Say none of that applies. This one, we're going to hit next section. So it's going to review it. It's checking everything, making sure everything's good. I'm going to hit create transaction, and then it's going to open the file the way I need it to. I'm not going to actually create it because I don't want this to go out to anybody. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like when you create it. So if we come over here to transactions, I just did one for my, oh well, okay. So once you create the transaction, you'll have a whole list of every transaction that you're running, and it'll be in here. And it tells you the address, whether it's pending, option pending, coming soon, what type it is, the purchase price or list price, who's the team member, being, you and the agent, or yourself and your transaction coordinator, and when it was last updated. Okay, so here is one. Actually, that's not. Where's a listing I can show you? You do. And this system helps with that, right? And that's what I was telling Kelly yesterday is, this system is built to help be more organized.
Is Kelly the one taking over?
No, Kelly is the transaction manager and agent with her team. Her and her sister are building a team. Marie White is her sister.
Oh, the commercial.
Commercial, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they're building a team. Yeah, yep. The transaction manager that's gonna be filling in for me moving forward, her name is Amy. She is virtual.
Oh.
She is a real person. She's not like a VA.
Yeah.
She is based out of Dallas. And I'm gonna get her trained up in these systems as well. So she'll be servicing the same way out of this system. But you just won't see her in the office. So yes, that's what this looks like. Let me open one of these. I wanted to show you guys a good one, but I'm gonna just show you for time's sake. So here's what the file looks like when you open it in OLS. Your transaction manager goes in and applies what's called a workflow for you guys. Okay, so you have the contract, you have your listing. When the workflow is applied, it takes all of that information and creates a bucket of emails for us. And so I can show you what that looks like in this email template or in this email tab. And you guys at any point as the agent can come in here and see what's been sent, what's scheduled to be sent, what tasks have been completed. But it creates all these emails for us. It sends homestead emails, post-closing emails, inspection emails. Hey, here's a list of inspectors. All of this gets sent out on your behalf. So the way to look at it is you get everything under contract. It comes to the transaction manager if you're on the team. And Kelly, you guys may run things a little bit different. So stop me if you need help anywhere. But it goes to the transaction manager. From there, the transaction manager opens the file, reviews everything, and starts sending out emails for all parties to be notified of the executed contract and sends all of the documents. And I can show you what those email templates look like. But so make sure everybody has what they need to get the file started. From there, we work on a timeline basis. So we are tracking option period, making sure everybody's staying within the option period, and then any amendments that need to be created in that scope, what that looks like. We're tracking third-party financing, survey deadlines, appraisals, you name it, anything that's contractually obligated through the transaction. The transaction manager is doing a lot of those things for you guys. It's a business partnership, right? It's an extension to your business. So we, as the transaction managers, are coming alongside you. Keeping us in the loop of all communication makes everybody's life a lot easier. Because at any point, Ashley can be like, hey, Chelsea, I need an amendment for $5,000 in concessions and to repair the front door. I can just go in, boom, create the amendment, send it to her client for signature, have her review it, make sure she's good with it also, take that amendment, send it, get it executed, get it back in our files, make sure everything's compliant so you guys don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Okay.
Bro.
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. Yes. And so and that's where it's kind of a split bag, right? So Kelly is an agent. She's also going to be doing some transaction management for her sister. And then y'all are agents. So it's like you're getting, both sides of this. So it's kind of two separate trainings. However, I want you guys to know what to expect when you're working with a transaction coordinator or manager, what you can leverage and what you should leverage, right? Like you're on the team, you're paying for these things.
Right.
So you should be able to leverage them. And also just building that friendship, that partnership, and what that looks like. Whereas, Kelly and her sister, they're growing this whole organization. So they're figuring out what works best for them and how that all applies. At the end of the day, we all are working through the same contract and making sure, one, our dates and our deadlines are our biggest indicators, and tracking those. So like I said, you have all these beautiful email templates in here. That's all fine and great. The agent, regardless of whether you're on the team or not, you will have, once your transaction is in OLS, you will have your timeline up at the top. So at any time you can go in there and know what date is what based on the contract documents. So those are all in here. There's finances in here. Like there's so much in here. I'm gonna let James go into all of this, but that's what the transaction management side looks like from the agent perspective, if you will. Let me think. What questions do you guys have? Nothing right now, everything. And when you get your for your next under contract or your next listing and you're on the team, definitely reach out to myself. I'm always here to help, whether I'm transaction managing or not. Like you have James, you have everybody.
Truly gonna get the gist of it.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
in there doing it myself and everything.
Yeah, that's when you're gonna have the questions. Because right now it's like, I hear you, this is all fine and great, but until you have it and you're working in it, it's
Right.
kind of irrelevant. Because you have listings or under contracts? Listings, okay. And you're trying to put them in OLS. Have you done, are any of them in HAR already? Okay. Have you guys signed the transfer of listings? Okay. Okay. So do you have the new, okay. So you're waiting for the transfer of listings.
Them to sign. I've got one set of the new list.
Okay.
I still have a couple others because I had some buyers too that I.
Okay. Just the reps or, cause you have nothing under contract right now, right? Okay, not yet. Okay. So one thing, we should get together on, when you have time and to get your listings, your listing agreements into OLS and start tagging Chin so you can see what that looks like. And that way she can start creating your MLSs for you. Cause I think I missed that also. Her being the listing manager, she goes in and she creates the listings for you. Yes. And so she'll create the listings for you. She will send them once it's created, she sends it to you and your clients for review. Make sure everything's correct. Once you give her the green light, hey, this looks good, she'll make it active. When she makes it active, she also creates your showing instructions for you as well.
And it's fresh. I sign when I get the transfer form signs, those are already.
Those will be, yes. But Chin's still going to be notified because on the team, everything gets listed under Ozzy. We are added as co-agents. So everything will be listed under him, which she can easily go in and she's great at it. She copies your existing listing, everything you already have, creates the new listing, if you will, under the team, adds you as a co-agent. That way everything's all in the one spot that we need it to be in. But then your new listing, yes. Give her that executed listing agreement, put it in OLS, add her as the listing manager, and then you guys can start the ball from there. But we can absolutely walk through that and what that looks like.
I have thoughts.
Okay.
That
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Let's do that. That way she can at least start on her end of things and we're not waiting for anything. Do you need photos on those still? Okay. Again, that's one thing she does. You give her the executed listing agreement. She's scheduling your sign in your lockbox. She's scheduling your photos. She's creating your MLS. Huh?
So who trained her up?
This one. I used to be the listing manager for the team. And then I went to transaction manager. No, I was listing manager. I went to sales. I came back. Oh, Chin she's great. She's really great. And then Irony, her significant other, does all the marketing for everything.
Yeah.
Flyers, open houses, events. I mean, you name business cards, you name it. So yes, Chin is absolutely amazing. She does so much. So sorry, I went so sideways on you. Yeah, we want everything in OLS now that we are working through one system. So getting those in there and having that information accurate is going to be our game changer. And then from there, passing the baton off, if you will. You're not like letting go. It's like I said, it's a business partnership with who you're working with and what step in the transaction. So yes, Ashley, we'll get together. We'll put in your listings. Do you want to do one like right now and we can see what that looks like?
Yeah, do that documents.
Okay. I already have it. So it's, even though it's two lots, they're side by side,
Mm-hmm.
but we want to be able to sell them separately. Impossible. If someone doesn't want both.
Okay. Are you going to list them separately or are you going to list them as one? Okay. All right. So compliance will make you have two listing agreements, one for each. Oh, perfect. Okay. What is one of the addresses? That is awesome. All right. We are going to put in
What'd you say?
0 Sandman.
And then I'm trying to have to close that's our mom.
Yes. We can disclose that when you go under contract. There'll be a section on there. Okay. So let's do this. Listing agreement. Okay, so they're both in here. Are they both 0 Sandman?
Yes, but I put the
Perfect. All right. Let's pull this one. So HCAD. Okay. So this is lot 5, block 16. We're gonna download lot 5. And just see those. Lot 6. Okay. So we're gonna do lot 5 right now. So we're gonna come to OLS. Come back here to the command center. Whoops. There's all kinds of crazy buttons. So we're going to hit add transaction. We're going to do the smart intake. Make sure I upload the right one, which is 1227. And we're going to hit open. So it's going to extract it for us. So we'll give it just a minute. Okay, so it tells us it's ready. We're going to hit this little wand. Oh, it's already in here.
Oh, did I put it in already?
I don't know, but let's go. That is okay. So let's go to existing. This is going to show us.
Oh, I do have it in.
Do perfect. That's perfect. This is great. Okay, so you have it in here. You have, this is your seller, right? So we need to add, looks like just the seller is added. So we're going to come here to add people. We're going to put listing agent. And we're going to put Ashley Green. And we're going to exiting OLS user selected. Existing user selected.
Want me to delete it?
No, you're fine. Existing OLS user selected. Edits, update here. Whatever, we're going to add you to the transaction. There we go. Okay, and then we're also going to add your listing manager. And we're going to add Chip. Okay, so we have 3 people: listing agent, seller, listing manager. So this lets her know, hey, I have this lot, it's coming soon, you did perfect, unimproved property. So this is all you need. Just kidding, hold on, please. Yep, this is all you need to do because you sent in your documents. Those are uploaded. This is required listing agreement. Let's click on this one and see. Received. If you come over to these dots and hit preview, it doesn't look like the listing agreement is in there. So fine.
I'm gonna go back to open make sure I put in the right.
Absolutely. We document uploaded successfully. Cool. So with compliance now through OLS, and this is new for all of us. So this is going to be a work in progress. All of those Dotloop documents, the required disclosures that we talked about, we'll need to download all of those and put those into OLS also. So say we do the TILA, and you can do it in a bulk upload, but for this sake, since you already have the file completed, I don't want to screw anything up, and I'm going to do it one at a time. So if I hit, oh, that says uploaded. Oh, look, you have these ones uploaded already. Okay, so this is the signed one. Perfect. You have Ashley Green on there. Look at you go. You have these uploaded. So those are great. You can select them here. We can send them for compliance. We can download them. We can reassign them, whatever we needed to do. So we are good there. So now that the listing agreement is in, the file is created. We're going to come here to this notes section. We're going to add a note, and we're going to put Chin, new listing, ready to go live ASAP. Thank you. We're going to hit save. Nope, she's going to get notified. So then that's her cue to get in and start working. Once you notify her on her files, on your files, she sends an introduction email to your clients letting her know, hey, I'm Chin, I'm the listing manager. I'm going to be reaching out for signed lockbox photos, you name it. Same thing on the transaction manager side. We send out intro emails letting everybody know, hey, here's who and who, here's our dates, here's what to expect, here's what comes next. Okay. Let's look at while we're in here. Let me think about this. So this is Sandman. Oops. I think we should have it. Sorry, I'm trying to think and work at the same time. Because of your docs, this is lot 5. So here at the bottom, it's telling us everything that we're missing. Okay, so we can get those uploaded and put in. And if they don't apply, we can figure out what that looks like. But
Top two,
okay,
there's a mud, but I don't know if that applies to just.
both. Yep. Yep. So you'll grab that. Do you know the date of the listing execution? I could pull it up, but if you know it off the top of your head, that is totally fine. Oops. I don't know why this is. Executed date. Let me come back to Dotloop. $6/21. So then we would just put in this information here. 6/21. And then add it. I'm gonna put Ashley. Everybody that's associated to the file will also get will be notified of these dates. So everybody will know, okay, it expires, it, terminated or whatever the case may be. But I want to, let's look at your other one and see if that one is in here as well. Can you see 2 loops that you have, or how many? Yeah. Okay. Let me come here to more actions. All right, so you have it incoming soon. Oops. So we need Ashley Green. Coming soon, and this should show us both. I did not do what I needed it to do. Ashley Green coming soon. All dates. I broke it. Okay. So 0/7.
I don't, I put Avenue on one of them.
So they're both Avenue? Okay. Let's do this. So listing agent, Chin, and seller. I'm gonna tell her notes. We're gonna tell Chin the same thing. So listing taken. This is lot 6. Ashley has 2 lots. The other is lot 5. Perfect. So now she'll know. So then I can show you right here, and hopefully it doesn't mess any of her workflow up. So if she hits apply workflow, she's going to select the workflow. She's going to do coming soon land. And when she hits coming soon land, that's what triggers her emails. So that's when she'll start to send out her intro email to your mom and she'll start scheduling photos and everything like that. If at any point you're like, hey, where are we at with things? Tag her in this file and be like, hey, can I get an update? What does this look like? And she'll be able to provide you all of that information. Do you have any other ones that you need in OLS that you don't already have in here? Okay. Okay, that's fine. When it is ready, just call me and we can go through it together and what that looks like. James is gonna start in at OLS at 1. And he's gonna walk you guys through everything that the system offers. It is so much. So definitely get in there, play around with it. Again, any questions that you guys have as far as listings or under contracts, just call me. My follow-up boss number sucks. So I'll give you all my personal number. Call me, email me, whatever you guys need. And then as we start to work through the new transaction manager and what that looks like. But I'm always here and available. So do you guys want to go grab food before James starts? Okay. Kelly, we're 346-434-0041. Yes. Kelly, we're gonna grab food real quick. James is gonna start back up in 20 minutes on OLS. So if you wanna hang tight, everybody will reconvene in about 15 minutes or so. Take out all of this. I'll leave that one up for him.